Look at that ass clap. I said go ahead. Make up. You finna catch this Kamehameha. Gigi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Gigi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Gigi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Gigi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. That booty made me turn Super Saiyan 5. Gigi threw it back and made my power level rise. I heard Frieza came back and he trying to fight. I would save the world, but I'm preoccupied. Gigi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Gigi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Gigi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Gigi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Thanks for watching. Hit the
Let's get to the video. Shouts out to DJ Is flying down his wife.
Thanks for watching. Hit the like.
You know what Slim just told me? Devon come up dead. She was shot one in the mouth, one in each tit. You still want to talk true string?
Avon Barksdale, one of the characters this show is built on. Shit, outside of Omar Little, Avon is probably the most iconic name in the entire series. Avon was that king who stayed the king.
See, the king stayed a king.
Unlike some of his peers, not naming no names. Marlo.
My name is my name.
Avon had a certain type of love and respect for the game. He tried his best to honor its rules. Willing to honor the Sunday truce.
Just never on no Sunday, man.
Even though String fucked that up. Reluctant to hurt any police, which is smart.
Anytime any fool do something like shoot the police, it's bad on everyone.
And always putting family first.
We're doing good. You know, if you say we're doing good.
Now, we all know Avon was great at being a gangster, great at being a hustler.
You know, I'm just a gangster, I suppose.
But that wasn't his only talent. He had another skill. Now, to the naked eye, you might have missed it. But Wire fans know. Avon Barksdale was a fucking poet. He has some of the deepest quotes in the entire series. I mean, shit, he might have the deepest quote in the entire series. This man was spitting hot fire all 5 seasons.
Because I spit hot fire.
The fact that Wood Harris doesn't have an Emmy for his portrayal of Avon Barksdale, as Stephen A. would say, it's blasphemy. It's blasphemy.
Blasphemy.
Ah, shit, I had to get that shit off my chest. This man deserves his flowers. Make sure y'all got notifications on. I got a whole video dedicated to the Emmys and their bullshit. I had to get that off my chest, y'all. All right, now back to the video. Today I had the impossible task of breaking down Avon Barksdale's top 5 quotes. Like always, y'all, if I'm missing one or you're not happy with the list, get in the comment section. I look forward to chopping it up with you. But first, like always, Big Rich in this bitch. Bodie Brodus, start this shit off for us.
Hey, y'all know what it is. Brick City's finest, J.D. Williams, a.k.a. Bodie Brodus. Y'all already know what it is. Chilling with Big Rich right here on the Chop Shop. Make sure y'all hit them likes, subscribes, do all this stuff. But we'll get with y'all later. Y'all already know. Peace.
I say let bygones be bygones, but fuck all them east side bitches.
One of the best quotes and most satisfying scenes in the entire series. Shit, the only scene more satisfying than this is when Cheese got killed.
But now, nigga.
Outside of that, Avon crashing Marlo and Sergey's meeting is fucking priceless. Look how uncomfortable Marlo is. Squirming around in his chair to that weird ass, awkward ass smile. You can tell this man don't smile often. I mean, these two actors handled this shit brilliantly. Avon burst onto the scene, big smile on his face.
Surprise.
Marlo was such a control freak. And the second he sees Avon, all control is thrown out the window. Cause this shit can go a million different ways. The second Avon sits down, he starts working Marlo. Kinda suns him a little bit.
Whatever business you trying to do through the Russian, you gotta go through me first. Yeah? Yeah.
And then Avon drops the quote.
Cause up in this bitch here, I'm what you might consider an authority figure.
He's somewhat of an authority figure. Of course he is. You, Chris and Snoop, do all this research on Sergey, but you don't think to look up if Avon Barksdale shares the same prison as him?
So then he asked me if I knew Marlo. I tell him, hell yeah, I know Marlo real well.
Avon wasn't no dum-dum. Every line Avon spits this visit is just him playing chess with Marlo.
Let me help you find your tongue. You trying to get to the Russian so you can get a line to his people. You trying to get to the Greek motherfuckers because if you can, you want to cut Proposition Joe and all them other East Side bitches out the connect.
I mean, really think about this shit. This scene made me think about Avon's future. This scene just confirms that once Avon is out, he will be right back in the position he was.
See, the king, stay the king, all right?
He has a direct line to that good shit. Now that he's friends with his new BFF, Sergey, Avon's move here was genius. Willing to squash the beef, put things aside.
West Side definitely need to stick together, you know what I mean? And all the fuss about you coming at me, I say let bygones be bygones, but fuck all them East Side bitches.
I mean, just think when he's out. Prop Joe is no longer his competition. He now has a relationship with Marlo. And shit, even with Marlo now being out the game, he had a relationship with Slim Charles.
This ain't about your motherfucking business class either. It ain't that part of it.
I believe this was the beginning of the end of Stringer and Avon's relationship. Avon ain't no dummy. Yeah, he's behind bars. Yeah, he's limited to what he can see in the streets. But at the end of the day, he ain't no fucking idiot. Stringer came to him, letting him know how everything played out with Brother Mazone. Of course, it was all bullshit, because Stringer Bell orchestrated it.
But Mazone not saying who did that shit.
You asked him who it was?
Yeah, I asked him.
Why?
Stringer tried to explain himself using big words and a little bit of that business savvy that he just learned from that community college.
Man, every market-based business runs in cycles, and we're going through a down cycle right now.
String.
He tried to kick all that knowledge to Avon, and Avon cut him off mid-fucking sentence and let him know.
This ain't about your motherfucking business class either. It ain't that part of it. It's that other thing.
We can't handle this civil. We can't handle this like adults.
The street is the street, always.
You dropped the ball on this. Our muscle's gone. We're weaker than what we started. You can tell with the street aspect of this, Stringer Bell was in over his head. I really wish these two would have parted ways and Stringer Bell would have handled the business side of this and Avon Barksdale strictly handled the street side of this.
You run it as you see fit. At least till I get home, you do.
That would have been an ideal way for these two to come to an end. Then you go to give your man a pound and this is how he responds?
Us, man.
Us. But you ain't done shit else. You know what I'm saying? So what you gonna do?
I mean, this quote right here is part of the reason why I love this show as much as I fucking do. And scenes like this is why this show will stand the test of time and be here forever. Slim and Cuddy ran down on Marlowe's crew as instructed. Like Cuddy said, he had homeboy in his sights and could have lit his ass up. And on top of that, Cuddy had motive.
Yo, I know that nigga, man.
Yeah?
Owe me money, actually.
Yeah?
Homie right here fucked him over out of some paper. Robbed him, actually. So Cuddy had every reason to let him have it. And him showing restraint, him not doing it, like I said, are reasons why I love this fucking show. Instead of Cuddy leaving, he approaches Avon and keeps that shit 100.
The game ain't in me no more. None of it.
Now, when Avon responds, Avon could have been a dick.
But you ain't done shit else. You know what I'm saying? So what you gonna do?
Could have told him no. Could have argued with him. Could have asked for his money back for the package he fronted him when he came home. Could have done all that shit. But no.
All right then. We straight.
Avon handled that shit with respect. He shook his hand and let him leave. Now the quote is this shit right here. Slim Charles, he was a man in his day. Nah! Say your shit, Avon. Say it!
He a man today.
Say it again!
He a man today. He a man.
He's a man today. There's so much negativity that we talk about in this show that we have to give the positive moments their just due as well. And this is one of them. This shit deserves a standing fucking ovation. But I got a question for y'all. Do you think Avon was a little bit jealous of Cuddy? Avon has all the money in the world. He can walk out this game clean tomorrow if he wanted to. I mean, let's keep it a buck. Most players in this game end up dead or in jail. Do we have any reason to believe that this would end differently for Avon? Avon knows it. I swear, y'all, I've said this shit a million times. This goddamn show is a masterpiece.
We the Trump brothers.
Man, you don't get this shit up? We gonna turn everything we built to shit.
This was the final nail in the coffin for Avon and String's relationship. I mean, real shit, this whole conversation was flawless. It was like with every word, Avon was sticking the knife in. I want to highlight a couple other things that was said before we get to my quote, just to prove my point a little. First off, the Chump brothers, that shit was low.
The Chump brothers.
If the last one didn't piss String off, this one definitely did.
I see a man without a country. Not hard enough for this right here.
A man without a country? Do you know how low that shit is? I personally don't think he was a man without a country. I think he was Barksdale through and through. Yeah, he did some shady, fucked up shit.
He rain major.
But I still believe he was Barksdale through and through. So to me, that man without a country shit is another low blow. Now we get to the quote. As if those two things we just talked about wasn't bad enough.
You know what the difference is between me and you? I bleed red. You bleed green. What you been building for us?
I bleed red. You bleed green. Woo! He shouldn't be spitting fire like this. I mean, that is such a low thing to say to your man. As if all he cares about is the money, which might be true. But I'm pretty sure he got love for you, Avon. Didn't he just break you out of prison? Didn't that shit just happen 2 episodes ago? What the fuck?
What's up, baby? What up, man? Woo!
Now we're moving on to number 1, and if you're a fan of the show, you already know where we're going with this.
He scare you, don't he?
You know, I'm just saying.
He scares me.
This number 1 statement might be the number 1 quote in the entire series. It's really not talked about enough how brilliant this scene was. How heartbreaking, how painful. It was all of those emotions in one. I mean, he takes D'Angelo to go see his brain dead father at some rundown, fucked up ass nursing home. There's absolutely no reason this scene should be as good as it is.
Live the life, leave the life, ain't no big thing. He used to talk that shit all the time and he believed it, you know what I'm saying? What's up, baby? Talk that shit now.
I feel like this scene should be hanging in an art gallery or some shit. I believe the reason he took D'Angelo here is to tell him, yo, youngin', look, you just beat a murder charge.
You can't play him out of that lobby. You can't take a beating either. So the first thing you do, you get all emotional.
Slow the fuck down before you end up here like my father. All it takes is one fuck up, one mistake. He is my reality check.
You only got to fuck up once. Be a little slow, be a little late, just once.
That at any time, one mistake, one slip up, one fuck up, I can be right here next to him.
And how you ain't gonna never be slow, never be late?
Again, like I said, it's just perfect. There's no other word to describe it.
You can't plan for no shit like this, man. It's life.
How you never gonna be slow, never gonna be late? How you not gonna mess up one time?
Scares me.
But when you really listen to the knowledge this man is kicking, I mean, oh my God. Oh man, but that's it, y'all. This is number 1. This is Avon Barksdale's top 5 quotes. I know I missed a couple.
You know, I'm just a gangster, I suppose.
Yeah, this is business. The street is the street, always.
This is my top 5 and I'm sticking with it. If you got any complaints, you got any issues with it, get in the comment section. I look forward to chopping it up with you. I do got more Wire content dropping soon, and if you're new to the channel and you
The comedy in The Wire doesn't get talked about enough. I mean, the show is hilarious. Yeah, it's got death, drama, and controversy, and I love talking about all of that, but there are so many funny scenes that it's really hard to pick out 10, but that's what I'm gonna try to do. And I know I ain't gonna be able to get to all of them, so go ahead and help me out in the comment section and let me know what some of your favorite funny scenes or moments are in The Wire. And if you enjoy content like this, like the video and subscribe to the channel for more of my videos in the future. And if you haven't seen The Wire yet, here is your spoiler alert. It's your boy Evan Loud and Clear here. Let's get into it, man. Number 1. Omar and Ronaldo rob Andre. Yeah, the play went smooth like Omar said it would. They got the package, but they didn't leave after that, did they?
The box of Newport.
Yo, Ronaldo is so confused as to why Omar is paying for cigarettes at a bodega they just robbed. We know about Omar's code though, and this is an example. Being a bodega, Andre is supposed to be selling cigarettes, not G-Packs. So Omar is gonna pay for the product that's supposed to be selling out the shop, and he's gonna steal the product that ain't supposed to be selling out the shop. Him asking for change is just too funny, y'all. Ronaldo just cannot believe this man is doing a legitimate business transaction after robbing the place. And I'm gonna come out and say, y'all, out of all the stick-ups and robberies Omar committed, I think he enjoyed this one the most. But let me know in the comment section, what Omar robbery was your favorite?
Hey, yo, you see the look on his mug? That's the reason why we get up every morning.
Number 2. Bubbles fishing for dope. My man Bubs. In the video I did about Bubbles, I asked y'all what your favorite scene of Bubs was, and a lot of y'all said this, and this shit is absolutely classic. Y'all know Bubs is my dude, so the entire time I'm sitting there going, come on Bubs, you can do it, bro, you know what I mean? We want him to get away with this so bad. I mean, come on, bro. That right there is a face of determination. And Johnny put it perfect.
Shouts out to Bubbles. Stealing them dope boys' pack. Spider Pig. Spider Pig. We getting into the wire. Got a couple videos on this that we gonna do.
Bubbles fished his wish.
Fished your wish, Bubs?
Oh, yeah. You should have seen the one that got away.
Number 3. Shamrock taking notes. Yeah, this one is funny simply because it's so stupid. Like, Shamrock, come on, man. If anyone outside the co-op got eyes on those notes, they got what's being talked about minute by minute because that's what your dumbass was writing down. I gotta say, man, I understand why String is so pissed off.
Nigga, is you taking notes on a criminal fucking conspiracy? What the fuck is you thinking, man?
Number 4. Any Clay Davis rant.
Major crimes. Shit.
I gotta be honest, y'all. I couldn't pick which one of Clay's rants were the funniest, so we just gonna put them all together. Clay Davis was possibly the funniest character on the show, so y'all knew he was making the list. My man was always in some shit, and whenever he didn't get his way, you were guaranteed one of his classic rants.
So, just enough for you to get that new patio, but not enough for that guy from Pittsburgh to take your place. You think I'm done? All y'all ungrateful bitches thinking you can throw me out the boat. Money laundering? They gonna come talk to me about money laundering in West Baltimore? Shit.
Number 5. Omar in court. Now, I was laughing from the second Omar walked in the courtroom till the moment he silences Levy. Yeah, I mean, all of Omar's lies, truths, and insults on the stand were hilarious, but this man really showed up in street clothes with a tie on, bro. And hey, the prosecutor told McNulty anything with a tie, so Omar rolled up in something with a tie. When he waves the tie at her, bro, I die laughing every time, man. He even gets the piss string off in the process. And I believe that this is most definitely foreshadowing what ends up happening in the string.
And what is your occupation?
Occupation?
What exactly do you do for a living, Mr. Little?
I rob drug dealers.
How does a man rob drug dealers for 8 or 9 years and live to tell about it?
Day to time, I suppose.
Number 6. Bird in court. Alright, so Bird had probably a good, let's say 40 lines in the entire show. 38 of those lines were him cursing somebody out, and the other 2 were absolutely hilarious. Excuse me? And just look at Bird's face. He is actually attempting to answer the question. He's thinking hard as hell for those 2 seconds, and it makes me laugh every time I see it, bro.
Mr. Hilton, are you the second coming of our Savior?
Excuse me?
Are you Jesus Christ come back to earth? See you at sentencing.
Number 7. Bodie clowns Poot for always getting burnt. Yo, so the entire time Bodie and Poot spend together, Bodie is always ripping on Poot for being too thirsty, which leads him to getting burnt by girls. In my opinion, when it comes to cracking jokes, this one is phenomenal. Just the way Bodie is walking when he says dick looking like a fried chicken wing is straight comedy.
He looks like a backwards ass cowboy and shit. Instead of like this, my man walking like this. Dick looking like a fried chicken wing.
Number 8. Snoop buys nail gun. Now, we knew who Snoop was before this scene, but I feel this was an actual introduction to her character. There are so many things in this scene that are hilarious. Hear me out, y'all. She brings in the old nail gun that was obviously used 4 or 5 times the last month to seal tombs with, and then she leaves it there. Like, what are you doing, Snoop? But the entire encounter was actually very interesting. Snoop used her knowledge to figure out how the salesman was saying the nail gun worked, and you can tell the salesman never met anyone like Snoop before. He had no idea how to react when she handed him $800, and then Snoop goes, "Nah, you take care of that for me, man." And I love the line when she's talking to Chris. The man said this was the Cadillac. He meant Lexus, but he ain't know it.
Man, shit, I seen a tiny ass 22 wearing nose drop the nigga plenty of days, man. Motherfuckers get up, man, you like a pinball, whip your ass up. Big joints, though, big joints, man, just break a bone, just say fuck it. I'm gonna go with this right here, man. How much I owe you?
$669 plus tax. No, you just pay at the register.
No, man, you go ahead and handle that for me, man. And keep the rest for your time.
This is $800.
So what, man? You earned that buck.
Said you earned that buck. That's gonna be a nice video. All the death scenes from The Wire coming up. We'll put that on the calendar for y'all coming up soon. Give y'all something to wait for besides this spring loading.
Like a motherfucker, man. Keep that shit.
Number 9. Bunk's mouse killing story. Now, The Wire was full of stories. Were they true or not? We'll never know. But one story I wish was acted out was the story when Bunk shot a mouse with his gun. When McNulty asks him how he caught the mouse, Bunk goes, "Caught it? I lit its ass up." Bro, that shit is so funny. McNulty is in complete disbelief that he used a service weapon to kill a mouse.
I mean, how did you catch the mouse? Catch him, I lit his ass up.
You shot the mouse?
Mm-hmm.
You're 9?
First shot killed my wife's dress shoe. Got him with the second. What?
You shot a mouse with your service weapon?
Yeah.
I can just picture Bunk drunk shooting his wife's slipper, then shooting a mouse and reacting like this.
Yeah.
Number 10. Landsman and Bunk use a photocopier as a lie detector. Anyone who hasn't seen The Wire yet and is still here with me? Yes, this actually worked. Landsman and Bunk literally duct taped this kid's hands to the scanner of a copy machine and told him it was a lie detector. Oh my God, man. After every question, they copied the word true or false, and this kid fully believed it. He confessed to the murder and everything. Like, are you kidding me, bro? But this shit makes me laugh so hard every time I see it, man.
The bigger the lie, the more they believe.
The Wire is not known for its humor, but goddamn, it's a funny show, man. And this video was fun as hell to make, but I'ma wrap it up now. I know there were plenty other funny scenes that I didn't get to mention, so go ahead and help me out in the comment section and tell me some of your favorite funny scenes from The Wire. I gotta give a huge shout out to all of y'all for watching. I can't thank y'all enough. If you haven't already, like the video and subscribe to the channel for more of my videos in the future, because I got plenty more content coming. Your boy Evan Loud and Clear, out of here.
See, we got plenty more reviews coming. Shouts out to The Wire. Hit back one more time, right? Cause y'all see Yokin. Y'all don't know what Yokin is? That's that other link that I be dropping. Cause I got an affiliate marketing with these guys too. Yep.
Now, tragically obvious that reasoning with the bitch is not gonna work, Tom. You have to hit her.
I'm an assistant district attorney, for Christ's sake.
Tom, you have to get past this.
It's okay, Faggot. Really?
See, faggot, she just gave you permission. Stop! You see that? The bitch has no problem hitting you.
All right, lady. Okay,
You're definitely allowed by law to hit her now, Tom. It's self-defense.
Okay?
Yes, Apple, you are in rare form.
All right, let's go.
This video is sponsored by CuriosityStream. For such an iconic, memorable character, the first 3 episodes of The Wire go into painstaking detail. The first 3 episodes of The Wire go into painstaking detail, unraveling the steps and process leading up to the Baltimore Police Department making a drug bust. But when they finally make the bust, they find someone beat them to it.
Where that, man?
This is how we're introduced to Omar Little, the most iconic character on one of the greatest shows of all time. Omar is a step ahead. He's the classic Western stick-up man recast in urban Baltimore.
I ain't tossing nothing. Bow tie.
Robbing drug dealers, outsmarting the police. He might be playing the game, but even when he cooperates with the law or gangs, it's clear he's doing so on his terms.
I believe anything you say. That's up to y'all, really.
Omar lives by a code.
I mean, there are some rules here, right?
Rules?
Yeah. No mistakes, no bystanders, no taxpayers getting caught up in the mix.
And he sets the parameters of that code.
Hey, look, I ain't never put my gun on no citizen.
Omar is a rogue agent, a true rebel outlaw. For such an iconic, memorable character, he received a relatively small amount of screen time relative to some of the other major characters. That Omar left such an outsized impact was a testament to several things. The character was a bit of flair for the theatrical and mythical in a show that was overall pretty dedicated to understatedness. Omar created his own mythos on the streets.
Mars is the god of war, right?
Planet 2.
Well, I know it's a planet, but the clue is Greek god of war.
Aries.
Aries fits. Thanks.
It's all good. See, back in middle school and all, I used to love them myths. Stuff was deep. Truly.
But that mythos extended into the show itself.
Y'all need to open this door, man, for a huff and puff. Hey, yo, lesson here, babe. You come at the king, you best not miss.
But more importantly was Omar's position within the broader themes of the show. In my past series of videos on The Wire, I talked about how The Wire's attention to detail, realism, and accuracy make it great, how the unique setting each season brings to the story illustrates Baltimore as a character, and how small moments with characters are used to reveal the show's broader themes, and how all of these things work together to illustrate the systems and institutions in Baltimore and the difficulty of reforming them. But while those themes are fascinating to discuss, and that thesis is responsible for a lot of the show's depth and lasting impact, those things are only slowly revealed over time as you watch the show. To be a more successful TV show, The Wire had to grab audiences' attention and make you care about its characters long before it had time to really unravel the details of its more complex themes.
Nah, darling, I'm cool.
The Wire is one of the first shows I remember watching that made me sympathetic for two characters that were in direct conflict with each other. Jimmy McNulty is perhaps the closest thing the show has to an obvious protagonist, and as a viewer, I was drawn to root for him in his goal of doing better police work. D'Angelo Barksdale, on the other hand, is a drug dealer. He's one of the people McNulty is out to lock up. But somehow I found myself also wanting to root for D'Angelo. How can you want two characters to achieve their goals when those goals have competing outcomes? A show developing sympathy for characters that are in opposition is more common in TV now, but at the time The Wire hit screens, it was a much more novel idea for television. There are several ways you can make characters that are at odds sympathetic, but I think there's a very specific reason why we're drawn to root for so many of the characters in The Wire. We usually root for rebels in stories. Narratively, we love an underdog. There are few stories made about the existing forces of power simply defending and maintaining their power. It's not a compelling narrative for viewers. We want to see the little guy take down the big bad guys around him. The Wire is full of rebels, characters that in their own way are pushing back against an established system and set of institutions that are much stronger and more powerful than they are. In season 1, McNulty is a rebel within the police force. He often disregards the bureaucratic authority above him, fighting to accomplish what he calls good police work. Wallace is also a rebel, fighting against the systemic influences that are pushing him deeper into gang activity.
I just don't want to play. I just don't want to play no more. Right.
So is D'Angelo, although he's deeper into that system.
Yeah, but the game ain't gotta be played like that, yo.
And Bubbles, though he relies on the illegal drug trade to maintain his drug use, works as an informant against that very drug trade. In season 1, the characters our sympathies lie with, and the characters we want to root for, are the ones that are pushing back against their own institutions. Many of these characters aren't admirable people, and none of them are perfect. Jimmy is an openly pretty terrible person. D'Angelo is even a murderer, but I think we're willing to overlook those things and sympathize with them because these characters recognize that something is wrong with the world around them and they want to see change.
You gotta let me live like I need to live. You tell Avon, Stringer, and Donette, all of them, to leave me be.
Instead of just blindly following the path that's set out for them by the system, the characters that we dislike in the show tend to be the ones that align themselves with the system, that don't see a problem and don't do anything to seek change. There are many characters that viewers' sympathies shift for over the course of the show's 5 seasons. In the first season, I didn't really find myself sympathizing with Stringer Bell, but I was somewhat by season 3. What changed? Well, from season 1 to 3, Stringer moves from being someone who perpetuates the institution he's in, the drug trade, to someone who wants to reform how that institution is run. Officer Prez is one of the most despisable characters in season 1, but by season 4, he's someone I'm rooting for and want to succeed. But Prez isn't the same character in season 1 and 4. Over time, he changes from someone who simply perpetuates and benefits from the system he's in, to one who sees the problems with the system he's in and actively works to improve it. The same goes for Bodie, who I hate in season 1 for murdering Wallace, but by season 4, Bodie is ready to push back against the system he's a part of, the system that pushed him to murder Wallace, and he ultimately loses his life because of it. And when he does, it doesn't feel like cathartic revenge for Wallace, it feels genuinely sad. Some characters reflect the opposite of this. Carcetti, starting out, is a rebellious force in politics, pushing for change in the system, and he's a fairly likable and sympathetic character. But once he becomes mayor, he loses some of that rebellious spark, and we begin to lose our sympathy. These rebellious characters are the lifeblood of The Wire. Bunny Colvin fights against the very laws he's upholding, and then against the way education is done. Lester Freeman, in his own way, pushes back against the aggressive, violent, manipulative tendencies of the police force with his quiet and calculating approach to police work. But the most rebel of all the rebels is Omar Little. We can root for characters that are in conflict in The Wire because the true conflict of the show is not really about police officers versus drug dealers. It's about individuals versus the institutions they reside in.
Look, man, I do what I can do to help y'all.
But the game is out there, and it's either play or get played.
Instead of casting one side as the established power and the other side as the rebels, The Wire casts institutions themselves as the established powers, and the rebels as anyone who is willing to push back against the corrupt elements of their institution. The Wire doesn't paint individuals as the enemy, but institutional forces that incentivize the bad behavior individuals choose to participate in. This perspective doesn't eliminate the personal responsibility and agency of individuals, but it does shift the way we view those things. If the system is the true villain of the show, Omar holds a unique position relative to that villain. Every other rebel in the show is a part of some aspect of the interlocking series of systems and institutions in Baltimore. The drug dealers and dock workers align with organized crime, the police officers with the corrupt police department, Carcetti ultimately with a corrupt city government, but Omar is the one character that is clearly his own man. He doesn't play by the rules handed to him by a system, but strictly by his own moral code. He even flaunts the rules of the game, holding himself to an even higher moral standard. He repeatedly allows people to live when they fully expect to be killed.
Yeah, I want to report a shooting over here at the new motel on North Avenue.
Even though killing them would be seen as collateral damage within the game. Omar stays away from deadly violence unless he sees it as justified retribution. When one of his crew is accidentally killed in a firefight and Bunk confronts him about it, he tries to appeal to the death as just the cost of doing business within the game.
Shoot past that, y'all gonna have to call this one of them cost of doing business things y'all police be talking about all the time. You feel me? No taxpayers. Shoot, the way y'all looking on things, ain't no victim to even speak on.
Using the unfeeling attitude with which the drug and police institutions treat the death. But Bunk challenges that position.
We had us a community. Nobody, no victim who didn't matter.
And Omar, even though it goes against the advice of his trusted confidant,
he working you with guilt, boy.
Honors his conscience over the rules of the game.
I still feel like I owe something, Butch.
While his day-to-day might come from playing the game, most of his actions that we see in the show are motivated by the pursuit of justice when people he loved or cared about are killed or put in danger.
See, all I know is whoever did him that way, they gets got.
When he eventually realizes that his playing the game puts people around him in danger, he exits the game, only drawn back in because of a wrong committed against someone else that he loved. Omar has a terrifying mythos on the streets.
Businessman such as myself does not believe in bad blood with a man such as yourself.
He's a character whose name carries weight.
So you gonna rob me now? And to remind you who I am.
And his character represents an important thematic element at the core of the show. But the final ingredient that made the character so lasting was the actor behind the role. The brilliance of Michael K. Williams' performance was to play a character that fully embodied the myth.
Cause Omar can come back tomorrow. And the next day. And the next day. And I will put a bullet in all y'all behind what happened right now. You heard?
Making it believable that people ran at the mere mention of his name, all while bringing a genuine humanity to that role. The writers of the show often demanded a lot of their actors, leaving important motivation out of exposition left to be revealed on the faces of the cast. When Omar decides to follow his conscience instead of accepting the rules of the game, it's the visible guilt and turmoil in Williams' performance that makes the character's actions feel motivated and genuine. He brought a character that could have been cartoonish to life with a rich complexity. It was a careful balancing act in a performance that in many ways reflected the careful balancing act of the show as a whole. The Wire paints a world where we don't judge a character by what side they're on or what institution they're a part of or what they've done in the past. In The Wire, we judge a character by the spirit and attitude with which they face the world around them. Omar Little, like everyone else on the show, was not perfect, but in the face of a complex world of corrupt, interconnected institutions, he may have been the only character who lived free from the bonds of those institutions. If you would put all of Omar's scenes from the show together, you would have over a feature-length film's worth of material. I looked through all of that in preparation for this video, and there was a lot of cool stuff in there that I just didn't have time to include in this video. So I've made a companion video that examines what Omar's code is specifically and how that evolves over the course of the show, and you can watch that video on Nebula. Nebula is a streaming platform created by myself and a bunch of other great creators so that we have a place to post our videos that's owned by us. You can watch all my content on there ad-free and before it's on YouTube, alongside the content of a ton of other great creators like Patrick Willems, Jacob Geller, Like Stories of Old, and a lot of others. And the best way to get Nebula is to get CuriosityStream. When you use my link in the description below, you can get an entire year of both CuriosityStream and Nebula for less than $15. That's 26% off the normal price. CuriosityStream is one of the best places online to watch documentaries. They recently added one of my